Hey, Rio here. It is your week one attendance. So, welcome aboard. Let's get this semester started. It is time. So, if you have looked at this course, because I opened it up on the 20th of December, I sent out a welcome message to all the enrolled students. But if you didn't get that or you've enrolled after, I want you to know over here in the course, you will now find that email that I sent to everybody. It's the welcome email. Okay. So review that. Matter of fact, that's a really good list. I was looking at it a minute ago. I actually lay out the things you need to do. The only thing I'd modify if I was to write that email today is to check this video out, which is your first attendance post. Now, this video is showing up in your grade book. It's not counted towards your grade. It's a way that I have to report attendance to the campus. I do them every week. So that's the first thing I want you to understand. And actually today is Friday, before this official start of the semester, but I make videos, attendance videos generally on Friday, and I make them available for you to hit reply, and that's how you get the 1 point. Again, not counted towards your grade, but really just a way for you to show me you're participating in the class. But you have until the following Friday at noon. So a week from today at noon, I will shut off the ability to reply. And then if you haven't replied, then you get a 0 in there. It, again, really is a way for me to track attendance and report it, but also I look at it in your overall participation in the class. So if I saw you doing work but not doing attendance, I would not be as concerned. If it was the reverse, which is you were doing attendance but not doing work. So you kind of see the importance that I put there. Okay, so the thing is, for this class, I do have the first week of content already laid out, and it's really important because you have something due the first night of the semester. And it is way important that you get back to me with your GitHub. And if you don't know what that is, you might want to check out that welcome video up there because it's going to walk you through and tell you. And it's good, just good because I give a little more information about the overall of the course itself. But there's really one important message I want to say in this video is something I forgot. So that's the first thing, right? Instructors are human and we forget stuff. And it's really good to connect because here's the thing is with a class like this, and I talk about obstacles actually in your week one learn together, but in a class like this, there's so many different levels of what could go wrong or what could go right. Either way, could go either way. But in this case, I had a student reach out to me and go, "Hey, you never talked about the editor that we're going to be using." And I just assumed in the videos that I'd created so far. So it was like, yeah, that's really important. So here's what I want you to know. And I'm just going to go over here. So I'm going to use, and it's very popular, and it's called VSCode. And VSCode is from Microsoft. It's a free program. You can download it, and it is for all the major operating systems. Now, the reason your screen, if you go there right now and look at it, is going to be different than mine, is that it's going to change based on your operating system. Okay, so what it's going to do, it's actually a way that the browser queries what's called the agent, and there's other ways to do this to figure out what the operating system is so that they can then reflect on the page based on your operating system. How many of you have noticed that, right? That sometimes when you go to a page and you're looking for something, it'll actually tell you for your particular operating system. So like for me, I'm running Linux on a Chromebook. I have a Linux subsystem running on my Chromebook. So this knew enough to know about that. So my point is that just download it and install it. It's a pretty simple install. And then what you will do, and I've already got it loaded here when you first start it. Now yours is obviously I shouldn't say obviously, but yours will look a little different here than mine, right? But you will get this welcome thing. And then I have the terminal open. That's something you're going to learn about, right? So terminal is in here. So that's the one thing we need to get you started with, okay? So, and as I said before, I forgot to talk about it. Right? I totally just got into other topics and boom, right? This was something that I forgot to talk about. So in this first week, in really starting in the week 1 lecture, you're going to need to have an editor. Now, you don't have to use VS Code. You can totally use whatever editor you're comfortable with. The reason you might want to use VS Code is that I'm going to use it. The course on Udemy we're going to use, Andrew Mead uses it. And a lot of developers, people that code, are using it. It has this product. It used to be people would be all over the map when I'd ask them what their editor of choice was. Like many would say Atom. Middleton would say, and that's just another editor if you haven't heard of it. Brackets, that's another editor. Some would be, if you were hardcore Linux people, you'd say Vim, right? Or Emacs actually is the other one. So, and you may not have heard of any of these. So if you don't have an editor you already love, I'm just going to recommend you use VS Code. But if you have something you like, use it. I'm not here to say you have to do it this way. That's just not the way. I just don't think that's the way it should go. But I also want to tell you why I've chosen it and why, if you don't have one that you like, and even if you do, you might want to just try out VS Code because it's just so prevalent. I mean, I see so many people using it. And Microsoft, so the reason I think it's so prevalent is Microsoft has made a really good product. And if you've been around coding at all, and you don't have to for this class, right? This is a beginning coding class. But if you have, you may have heard of Visual Studio Code, especially if you've taken some of the CIT classes here at Fresno City College, because that is a program that you may have encountered. But this is not that, okay? Not that at all. But this is a really nicely ground up created by Microsoft to be a very enjoyable developer experience that has all the things you'd want as a full developer, but also as a beginner, because it just works. It just works. But we're going to learn more about our editor just generally as we use it, because that's really, your editor is where you're going to spend time to code for this class. So it's a really important thing. Okay, so VS Code, download it. You're going to need it to do week 1 lecture. And week 1, learn together. And then, as I've already talked about in the welcome video, and you can check that out, I've laid out all the lectures, so you're welcome to work ahead on those. I will already, as of either this weekend or the first of next week, start working on the learn together so that you have content to consume. So I hope what you walk away from this video is understanding what attendance is, why it's important, understanding VS Code, understanding the importance of getting help, right? So that's the other thing, is like if you go into the syllabus for this class, which is here, you're going to see my office hours. But in general, know this. On Monday and Wednesday, I'm down at the Bitwise Hive downtown Fresno, right off the freeway. And in the syllabus, I actually give you a link to the address and some general information. I am there on Monday and Wednesday, 4:30 to 5:20. And then I teach a night class on Wednesday night. And that is another place that if you wanted to just come and if you want to know about that, maybe you want to connect with me directly, but you could ask me on class chat as well. But on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm here on campus. And I believe that office hour, I think it's noon. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? And I'll have you do this. So maybe this will be part of my reply, because by the time you see this, I will have updated my office hours to be more precise about when they are. But they're either noon or 1 on Tuesday, Thursday here on campus. I'm in BE Business Education, actually in my office today. I'm in 113, so if I look across, the social science building is like just right across from my office, and then the bookstore is kind of behind us and over the other way. So we're kind of on the center of the Fresno City campus. All right, so but the important thing is if you run into anything that is causing you to not be successful in getting the work done for this class, and I know week 1, night 1, you have work due. So something could trip you up. The sooner you ask for help, so the sooner you work on something, the sooner you can ask for help. So the more likely you're going to get it, because know that my schedule is probably not your schedule. I make things due at midnight, but I'm typically offline around 7 or 8 in the evening, and then my morning starts pretty early. Anyway, so just make sure that you're reaching out for help, and we can also do virtual support sessions to try to give you what you need if you can't make it in to see me physically. And maybe you don't have a laptop, maybe you have a desktop. How could you bring that in to see me? You couldn't. That's why we'd want to do virtual, which is, by the way, what I use for virtual is the same thing we're using for class chat. So FYI. Okay, so your week one attendance, glad you're here. Thanks for choosing this class, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.